All right, we're going to start a new series of Thursday Review Day. And the first review, I've done a couple on here. First big review is going to be Jimmy Long's. First off, I did not pay for this set. So any part of my review is mine. I was not paid or anything for this review. A good friend of mine knew I was having trouble with my hands and I needed to try a new set of tools that would possibly fit and help my dexterity in my hands. So he was nice enough for Christmas to send that to me. Thank you. You know who you are. I appreciate you. So let's get into it. This is the Jimmy Long's V5 set. I have the complete set with the case. As of right now, January 30th, 2025, on Jimmy Long's site at JIMYLONGS.com. He is only out of one set, and that is the basic set. And we'll get into the basic set here in a few minutes. I did not see the roll case that he sells on the site. Maybe I don't know where to find it, but I did not see it on there as of today. But as of today, the only one that sold out is the basic set. But we'll get into that in a minute. First set we will go through is the Jimmy Long's 19 thousandths hooks in gem profile. In this one, he has a 19 thousandths low gem hook, a short gem hook, and a medium gem hook. Now, anybody who knows me knows I'm a big fan of the gem hook. And we have all three right here. 19 thousandths is probably, 19 and 20 thousandths is probably my favorite thickness of a pick. You don't have to dig through all your tools to find a smaller one because a lot of sets come in 25 or 23 thousandths. But they're a good middle of the road if you do the LPU, the Lock Pickers United belt system. With 19 thousandths, man, you can pick probably dang near to black belt with it. With these picks, they are full tang. As you can see, you can see the metal in there and the metal all the way to the end of your tang there. And it's got some, I'm thinking, I heard, and I probably should have looked this up, but this is a first real big review that we're doing on here. But he's got a plastic type handle. I think it's fiberglass. I worked in the fiberglass industry for quite a few years when I was younger. Kind of feels like that, so I'm assuming it is a fiberglass. Compared to most picks, which are just, there's no taper to them. It's just a flat pick. These work really well for me in my hands. With with that bulge in the middle there. I guess from what I understand, they are based after scalpels. I know Jimmy put a lot of research and work into these, and probably should have been maybe a little more prepared for this review, but I'm learning. So, and then with most picks, you have right here, it usually stays about the same width, but I know, and I've talked to Jimmy personally, he put a lot of effort into finding out where the stress points on your pick is when you're picking. And I've seen videos and all kinds of things where they used like a thermal camera, and you could see where the stress points, where it was the most stress was coming at. So Jimmy put a thicker taper down here towards the end because that's where the most stress points are. And I think it worked real well. There are some picks in this set that with this taper we have, I haven't run into it. I've seen people that have, but you only got a shorter amount of space in the keyway there before it starts tapering out. So like a 7-pin lock, you're going to be struggling to reach and not bump up against the taper here. But if you're careful and you take your time, I haven't personally had any problems, but I have heard of people. So I'm putting that out there. I have picked a 7-pin lock with it, a 6-pin, 5-4, and I don't have any issues with it. I'm gonna say this again. I've said it in a few of my videos. There's a right tool for the job, and then there's the right tool for the job. Use the right tool for the job, and you won't have any problems. There isn't a single pick on the face of this earth that is just perfect for every lock. Some you need a different thickness, some you need a different height, some you need a different length. So use the right tool for the job. So that is the Jimmy's Gems, the medium. What was it again? It's the low, short, and medium gems. I love gems. They're my favorite. That's why they're number one right here in my case. So now we will move on to the second set here, which is, and these are in no particular order. It's just the order I decided to put them in my cases by what I feel I would use the most at any given time, which is the 19 thousandths intermediate set. We have a low flat hook, a low round hook, a short round hook, a medium flat hook, and a large aggressive triple cycloid, and a 30 thousandths, 40 thousandths, and 50 thousandths top of the keyway turner. Just right there. Let me hold it steady for you, and they are in 19 thousandths. Let's get those out for you. And we have the 30, 40, and 50 thousandths top of the keyway turners. Turners are great. The only thing I have noticed from other turners that you get in other sets is these don't have the teeth at the top or on the inside. I don't know how you would consider that, but usually there's teeth on most sets. I haven't noticed a difference. I've used these. I've had these since before Christmas, and I've used them quite a bit. They work great. I think the short ends of the turners are the perfect depth, where I've had problems with some other companies' turners not fitting in, like the 1100s. They were either too short or too long and hitting the first pin there. So I like these turners. They work pretty well. Haven't had an issue. But that's the turners for the intermediate set, and we will get right into the picks in there. As I said, they're all 19 thousandths. And we have low flat, which is probably that one. Yeah, that one. A low round hook. It looks like a deep one. Maybe I got one of the picks mixed up. Yeah, I think I did. I don't know. We'll see here in a minute. The low round hook, short round hook, and medium flat. So that's your 3 or 4 in the Jimmy Long's intermediate set, and that comes also with, what does he call it, the aggressive triple cycloid rake. I'm not a huge raker. I'm working on getting back into it and really taking my time and learning that skill, because it is a skill no matter what anybody says. And I think it's important that we take the time to really learn how to rake. But that rake works real well. They're all in 19 thousandths, except for the top of the keyway turners. Obviously, that's in 30, 40, and 50 thousandths. That intermediate set is really good. It gives you all the, that set right there gives you all the hooks and depths of hooks that you really need. You could, I could take that set, the intermediate set, throw it in a smaller case, throw it in my back pocket, and probably never need nothing else. With that being said, we got the next one in our lineup here, which is the Jimmy's Basics 19 thousandths set. This is the one on the site that he is sold out of, which is a bummer because it's a really good set. I understand why it's sold out, because this is, honestly, it's another one. I could take this set, throw it in my back pocket in a small case, and never need nothing else that I can think of. And it comes with 3 picks in 19 thousandths. You have, what does he call him? A flat short hook and a medium round hook. An aggressive triple cycloid in 19,000s. It's a almost perfect set. Yeah, those are the 3 picks we have, and that comes with the 3 bottom and top of the key turners. This is where this set really shines. You have your top of the keyway turners on the bottom, which are short, and the quality of them is top notch. There is not a sharp edge on any of these. Works amazing. And the 3 thicknesses, I should show you the length of bottom of the keyway. These are what I use the vast majority of the time. These turners are amazing. They come in 30 thousandths, 40 thousandths, and 50 thousandths. I would like to order a couple extra just sets of these to throw in my everyday carry stuff because they're that good. The quality is A1, and I can't say enough good about them. And that goes for the picks too. I mean, there is, if you look, they are perfectly and perfectly trimmed, or I don't know if you call it trimmed, but there is no flash, what we would say flashing in the plastic industry is where the mold comes together and it injects, gaskets and molds wear down, and you get a little bit of extra plastic, or this is fiberglass injected molding, and there's none. You can look all the way around it, and there is absolutely none. And they're perfectly tumbled. These are all just smooth to the touch. I love them. They work great. The basic set in 19,000s. If you're a beginner, that's the one I would go for. And obviously it's sold out as of January 30th, 2025. But if you're looking to get into picking, it's this set. I do believe it's $20 or $30 for the set. And that's a good thing with Jimmy Longs is there's nothing over, there's not a set in here over $30. You can't beat that if you ask me. $30 for a set of top quality tools is pretty much unheard of. Let's see what the basic set is. Basic set is 20 bucks. It's sold out right now, but 20 bucks with those turners and a rake and 2 hooks. Can't beat that. Cannot beat it. Now, with that, since I'm done with this particular case, I'll show you. You also can get Jimmy's roll-up case with this part I love is the little zip-up pouch for your turners. Holds them in there, and then you got the flap to protect all across the top of your picks. and you just give it a roll. And off you go. One negative thing, I have two negative things about the roll case. One, I would like to see them switch from, some of you guys call it a hook and loop, and most people call it Velcro, but the hook is on the back of the case. So when you lay it down, if there's any fabric or whatever, it gets all in here. So I took an extra piece of Velcro and covered the part that doesn't get covered as best I could. I would like to see it change, put the hook part on the flap and the fuzzy part on the back of the case. And the second is what we have right here, this rolling over. I would like to see, my personal opinion, I would cut this in half, the two pieces of Velcro here, and put them at the top and bottom, and just have two thinner pieces at the top and bottom to hold it and keep it in a perfect tight roll. And then you wouldn't have that folding over, because this is another pick that I carry in this case because it's one of my favorites. It's a Rytan. But if they did that, if they cut this in half and put half the strip at the top, half the strip at the bottom, folded it over, it would hold it nice and tight right there. I think that would be great. So now that we got through those, we're into the next sets and into my other roll case here that oh, here it is. This is a roll case that I've had for many, many years. I got it off of eBay. It's really nice. It's I think it's a little bit better than that particular one in the quality of material. This is almost like a Wrangler jean material, a Levi jean material, and this is a stretchy type of flat. I would like to do the same thing with this, cut that in half and make two flaps, but this one at least you can pull tight and cover the whole back of it. But this case is like I was talking, I'd like to see on the Jimmy Long's case, where the fuzzy is on the back of the case and the flap is the hook and loop part. So now let's get into the rest of the set here. Next up, we have the starter set, which is in 23 thousandths. These are, this is probably the one I use the most. I start off with, and if the 23 thousandths fits, you always want to use the thickest pick that you can use in the key. So I try to live by that, and I start off with the 23 thousandths. In this 23 thousandths set, starter set here is a short flat hook, which to me is more, instead of a short flat hook, to me it seems more of a gem style than a flat hook, but that's what it says. It is a short flat hook and an aggressive triple cycloid and 23 thousandths, and then it comes with the 30 thousandths bottom of the keyway turner. This is another one of his sets that you could take this, throw it in your back pocket, and boom, you're good to go. You probably can get away with picking 99% of anything you need to pick with this. Me personally, it comes with the, like I showed you earlier, the top and bottom of the keyway turner in 30 thousandths. I prefer a 40 thousandths. There's very few locks I use a 30 thousandths in. Like, here's pretty much the two I use them in, and that is the Abus 7240 and the Master Lock 6835. And those just have smaller keyways, so I would use the 30 thousandths. If it were me, I'd like to see him change it to the 40 thousandths. It's the middle of the road. It can fit pretty good in your American locks, your master locks. There's very few that it won't fit in, but it's big enough to give you a good bite on the keyway. And that is your basic set right there. In this case, this case has absolutely nothing to do with Jimmy Long's. It doesn't have the zip up part, and I'm not going to go into much more detail on it because it's one I've had for years, and so it really has nothing to do with this review. So next up, we have 15 thousandths. 15 thousandths are a very good thickness for your high security, very paracentric keyways, very hard to get around warding, things like that. And they come in handy, and I'm glad he added a 15 thousandths set of picks, because before I had my one little set of another company's 15 thousandths hooks that I used all the time, and I liked the profile, but I had to buy 3 sets of them, and they broke, and then broke again, and then now I'm down to my last set of them, and I think it's time to send them down the road because I have these now. And with Jimmy Long's, you got the he uses the, what is it? He uses a top quality steel. I forget what it's, 301 high yield. I'm not, just take that right out. I'm not a metallurgist. I know he uses the best steel that you can use, and we'll leave it at that. So I don't have to worry about these 15 thousandths breaking. I don't think my breaking problem with the other one had anything to do with my picking. It was more that they used a lower quality steel, and it just easily wore out after time, because I'm not a very heavy-handed picker at all whatsoever. I like to keep my tools nice and not bent and in good shape, and so I don't really bend tools. So the first 15,000 set we have here is the flat hooks in 15 thousandths, and it comes with 4. You have a low flat hook, a short flat hook, a medium flat hook, and a deep flat hook. And when I got paracentric keyways, this particular set is the one I shoot for. It's got all the hooks I need for the paracentric keyways. I don't even think I've got into the last set because I've been able to get it with these. Anything. I like to use 15 thousandths on like DOMs and yeah, the what is it? There's a couple, I can't think of it at the moment, but yeah, there you go. There's the profiles, and they're perfectly tumbled and ready to go right out of the box. And that's something you can't beat, is tools that are ready to go for this price right out of the box. Man, I've paid more for tools that I've spent a significant amount of time on sanding and polishing and getting them ready to work with. And then the last set here is the 15 thousandths round hooks. You have a low, a short, a medium, and a deep. Right there. Low, short, medium, and deep in 15 thousandths. I like to keep these little pouches they came in order, so I know which sets are which in my case, because I want to try to come up with a way to, I know 44 Delta does the little, and put little colored inserts in there so you know which one it is. And I talked with Eric about it. I wanted to try to get one that would fit in this top one so I could see it so I don't have to pull each one up and make sure they go into the right ones. But he said the hole is too small, that you got to use the big hole at the bottom. So I'm going to try to figure a little something out. But here you go. This is a look at the round hook in 15 thousandths. And another great set. I personally haven't had to crack this. No, I have, for this deep hook right here. This deep hook I had to use on something. I can't remember what. But yeah. So for the pros and cons of the Jimmy Long's sets. Pros: for people like me with some hand issues, they're the perfect thickness so I can get a better grip on them. The con with that is I would like them to be a little longer. I'd like the length of this to be probably a ½ inch longer. But that's just wishful thinking, and because they're not bad. This is a personal thing of mine. I'd just like this end to be a little bit longer so I could rest it a little more in the webbing between my thumb and index finger. But the thickness this way helps me, and especially the thickness and the taper to it helps me hold when I'm picking. So good job. It works well for me. I'm so glad my friend got them for me. Pros of the case: it comes with a nice case. The con of it, like I said earlier, was I'd like to see that strap be at the top and bottom of it instead of in the middle, and the hook part of the Velcro on the flaps and not the back of it. Pros and cons of the sets: I think they're a very comprehensive set. Like I said, I think was it the basic or intermediate? Whichever one I said had the 30 thousandths. Top and bottom of the keyway turner, I'd like to see it 40 thousandths, but most people, it's always a 30 thousandths, probably because of steel prices and things like that, so you can make it the right. And as a price, you can't beat the price. You just can't not beat the price. There's not a set in here over $30. Most are 15 and 20. And 15, 20, and $30 sets for the top #1 steel, top #1 injection molded handles, top #1 steel that goes all the way through the tang, so you get the absolute best chance of feeling everything in whatever you're picking. And yeah, that's what I got for you. That is the Jimmy Long's V5. And Jimmy Long's, you did a great job. I truly like your sets. I use them. I've been trying to use them exclusively for 2 months now to really get a feel for them. And thank you for putting all the work in and having so much love for this sport and community to take time out of your life and pocketbook, obviously, to make these tools for us. I think they're great. And that is my review on the Jimmy Longs. Thank you guys. I will see you later. Hopefully this video isn't too long for you. Like and subscribe, and I will see you later.